Okay, so here we are at Win the Damn Weekend, and what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna show you what goes into my steak cooking contest kit. This is the kit that I take to the SCA contest that I go to, and I thought it would be fun today to show it. Fun for me, let's just say that much. It's gonna be fun for me because what I did is I bought some, I've always used this tub and I've always had stuff just kind of thrown in there, and I had it in baggies, Ziploc bags and different things. And it just, you know, contest after contest, it just gets put in there, and you know, little to no organization whatsoever. So I got a couple of extra little totes here that I think are super cute. Little miniature totes to go inside of my big tote. So I'm gonna use some of these totes to help organize some of the stuff that gets tossed about in the container. So that's what we're gonna do today. But I figured the other good part of this is I can show you a little bit about what I take to prepare for a contest, you know, outside of the grills and the charcoal starter and all that stuff. I've got a full checklist, but some of this stuff is stuff that I've accumulated, and over the years of doing this, I figured out, boy, it'd be nice to have that, or I wish I had that. And as I go along, I've added to the kit, and just recently, I've subtracted from the kit too, a lot of stuff that I no longer need. So what I'm gonna start with today is just some of the stuff that I know is gonna go into these tubs, and I think that's gonna be the most important thing. So, of course, one of the things that I do at every contest is I trim the steaks, and then you tenderize them, and then you tie them up, and then they go into these, and then I put them into these little things in marinades. So I'll show you that. But I know the stuff that I need. I'm thinking about, you know, what's my process when I'm going and trimming and tying and tenderizing. And so I have no shortage of butcher's twine here that I am going to take to every contest, because I think the last thing that I want to do is run out of butcher's twine. So you can see that I have an abundance of that. So I'm going to stack that in there. The other thing that I like to use are pins. In some cases where your steak may be falling apart or coming apart, I like to pin it, and I like to use these stainless steel pins. So I've got a little box of stainless steel pins that I like to use. These are a little bit longer, so I will use those on occasion. And so as I stack this, I'm gonna kind of reorganize a little bit as I go. So I know that when I'm done trimming, I will pin, I will tie. As I'm trimming and tenderizing, I will use this to do my actual tenderizing. This is a new one, just an onion slicer. You can buy them anywhere. So I'll keep my onion slicer in here. Oftentimes I'll keep them in my knife kit, but I think it fits really well in here. I get just a little bit particular sometimes, especially in more competitive contests. So I take a pair of tweezers. Used to be my wife's tweezers. I've cleaned and sterilized these things. She chooses not to use them anymore. So they have now become barbecue tweezers. So this is just to kind of help hold those little pieces as I'm trimming. So I'm gonna take that with me. And I figure what works well in this box is anything that has to do with that prep work that I'm gonna do. So for right now, I'm gonna leave this set up aside and out of the way, because there might be some more stuff that goes in there. The next box I'm gonna put in is really gonna be more about, okay, now the things are gonna be ready to go on the grill, right? So I'm obviously not doing this in order of my process. But when I go on the grill, there are certain things that I'm gonna use on the grill. So I'm gonna use a thermometer, potentially. This is one that I don't use often, but it's a good backup thermometer. This is one you can leave in the steak, and it's got a readout, and you can just see what your temperature is in the steak. This is a grill grate thermometer. So I do like occasionally, if I'm not 100% sure on, you know, if the readout on the thermometer on the grill is what I want it to be, I can always test, you know, the grill grates. And so I keep this handy. It will go with this as well. And then of course, the number one tool of any cook, whether it's steak cooks, barbecue competitions, cooking at home, cooking chicken, whatever it may be, is a Thermapen. I buy Thermapens for every person I know that is starting on their cooking journey or maybe struggling with their cooking journey. The first thing I do, get them a Thermapen. Okay, so the other pieces that I know that I'll be using, you know, when I start the grill or when I get ready to go to the grill, in between every one of my flips or turns with my steak, I brush down my grill, and then I spray it with duck fat. So I'm gonna make sure that my grill brush goes in there. To light the grill, I use this handy dandy little torch. You wanna keep some butane handy. I'm gonna actually put the butane in another kit because I don't use it every time. but I will every time use these little tumbleweeds, or as I called them on a previous video, wicker biscuits. So we will load the wicker biscuits into this as well. These are things that are all going to go together in terms of using the grill. Okay, great. So some stuff that's going to go in there that's not going to necessarily go in tubs. You know, my grill grate spatula, some stuff like that. So these are high temperature gloves. I like them because they're cloth. So you can move, like this big silicone ones, you just can't really grab a hold of anything. So I really like these. So they're going to go in there, but underneath them, something that I'm going to use in every contest, I bring welding gloves with me now. So this is a brand new pair of welding gloves that I'm going to use. I will use these welding gloves at the end of the contest to empty out the hot ash out of my grill. So they usually have, as you know, if you've been to it, they have the hot ash bins, the big trash can bins that you can dump your hot ash into. So these are not quite good enough for that, but these are, because these go up to 932 degrees. So they're going to pack nicely in here along with these gloves. However, I also have a set of smaller cloth gloves like this. I've got a couple of these that a couple sets that I want to keep with me. And so what's going to go with these is I'll put these on, and then I'll put some vinyl gloves on over the top of these, and that gives me even more, you know, nimbleness with my fingers, so I can grab, you know, a steak or something hot off the grill, and it's not going to burn me, and and the meat's going to be protected with a vinyl glove. So I'm going to put them in there. I'm going to pack in my hot gloves that I use at every contest. So these hot gloves I'll use, you know, when I'm lifting up the grill and I'm taking the hot press off the steak. You know, the hot press is going to, or the meat press is going to be hot. So I will use these. So these will pack nicely into the kit as well. Okay, so I like to use these little trays to marinate in when I'm at a contest. So I like to take a number of these. I'll take 8 of them per contest. I think since they are part of the prepping section, I'm going to put them into this prepping bucket that I have. So I will always know, like, hey, I can pull out this prep bucket when it's time to prep. My wife is incredible. She's got a label maker. I'm 100% sure before I go to the next contest, each one of these tubs is going to be labeled for me to easily find what I need when I get to the contest. So there is that. And then what I want to do with this last tub that I have of the 4, I may have to get another tub, but right now this is what I want to pack in. Okay, I usually bring a set of like different stuff. Like let's call this my just in case tub. Just in case all of a sudden I don't have any beef stock and we have to run down to the nearest convenience store and buy a can of consomme, whatever, right? And I need to open it. This is just in case. I've got a can opener that I always take with me. Just in case I feel like I don't have enough salt, this is just in case salt. Always have my just in case salt. This little baggie here that I have, I'm gonna keep it in the form of a baggie, but I'm gonna take some of it out. This is just in case my multiple backup Thermopens go bad. This is another little thermometer that's in here just in case. Just in case I need to do something with a silicone brush, I have that. Maybe I already said last minute, hey, I want to base some butter over the top of my steak. I've got that in here. Just in case something breaks, needs cut, or I need a set of pliers, or I need a knife, I've got this multi-function tool that is also a set of pliers. It's got some knives to it, just in case. So that's in here. There's a backup butane lighter in here. There's a backup fork, actual silverware fork, but there's also backup plastic forks and knives and stuff like that that's in this kit. So I like this kit just to have for any number of reasons. I have had to get into it a few times. It just kind of depends on what is happening that day. So this box is going to be really great. It's going to stay down at the bottom. It's going to be called the backup box. I also have this. This is a backup charged battery for my phone. So if my phone is dying, I can MagnaSafe or whatever it's called right onto the back of my phone. So I've got an extra phone battery that I keep charged and I keep in this kit as well. And then there's other components that I need to make sure that I pack away, and so I'm probably gonna need another tub, but I always bring trash bags, extra trash bags, so you've gotta have trash bags in your kit. There's stuff like this. This is just a little tool. It's actually made for the big green egg, but it's to pull grill grates, the grates up off your grill. I use this to pull my grill grates up sometime when they're super hot. This is actually used to you can actually use it to lift out a charcoal basket. You can use it to lift up grates or anything like that. So this is a cool little tool. This is a backup spatula in case my grill grate spatula breaks, something happens, or I'm making something different. This is a cool multi-use tool that it's got a spatula on one side and tongs on the other side. I just like having this because it's kind of the ultimate just in case, get your meat off the grill type of situation or whatever you may be doing. I'm going to have this when we are at locations where we don't have our RV or there's no running water, which is most of them. My wife had the great idea to get these little sprayers. We just fill these sprayers with water, and we have a stage in there where we put a rub on the steak, or it's a marinade, not a marinade, it's a tenderizer. We put a tenderizer on disruption that we want to rinse off before we put it into the marinade, and we actually use this, it's pressurized, to rinse off the marinade when we need to. Extra butane for the torch is always going to be included. Then I have these little tools. I have a really cool Pecos table, and so these are tools for that. This holds my paper towels. These are just little hooks that can hold stuff like this, the spatula. So I've got a couple of those, and of course you can't go anywhere without your drink holder, so these all attach onto my table. I'll show you the table sometime because it's really, really cool. More trash bags. I guess I talked about trash bags. The grills, this is going to go in there as well. Couple things, I always take my apron with me. This I use every contest. My daughter got this for me. It's a meat blanket. You can see it's well used. But what I'll do is I'll make a foil pouch. I'll put the foil pouch in here, and then I put my steak in that foil pouch while I cook my second steak. I'll put my first steak in there, close this up, and it keeps that steak warm and delicious. I like to take these with me. These are just heat resistant pads. So in case I have to put my grill on something that I'm not really comfortable with the heat from that grill coming onto whatever surface it's sitting on, I like to put these pads down and set the grill on top of that. I also am going to take with me to any contest I go to a stack of disposable cutting boards. Love disposable stuff for contests like that. So I'll do my trimming on these. I'll do when I'm done with the steak, I'll cut the steak and cut it into pieces on this, but these come in super handy. So I take a bunch of those when I'm going somewhere. My wife actually found these recently, which are so cool. They are crocodile cloths. So disposable scrubby cloths. So this is something that we can use to clean our tables, to clean our utensils, to clean anything that we have in between times when we're cooking steak. So I'm always gonna take this stuff with me. And then you really couldn't go to a steak contest if you're me without your seasoning. So I got, I've made the blend of rubs that I use. My wife has named it Kurt's Proprietary Blend. So I've got that blend that comes with me to every contest. Always bring my HEB Texas Stuff barbecue aluminum foil. Comes with me to every contest. That's what I make my pouches out of. And just a recent addition are these bar rags that we like to use. So rather than just go through, 8 rolls of paper towels when we're at a contest, stuff this into my apron because I'm always wiping my hands on my shirt, my apron, my pants, whatever. It's gonna be really cool to have these available at the contest as well. So that, and then finally, I bring my set of knives. Definitely overkill because I really only use one knife. But I will bring my set of knives and my kitchen shears that I use to trim the steak. You'll see that process multiple times, I'm sure. But this is everything that goes into my kit. And, and now as I get this organized and walk through some stuff myself, I'm gonna get everything loaded in here. But really this is what I take to a contest. The grills, the tables, the charcoal chimney, a cooler full of ice, and you should be set to go. So now you go win the damn weekend.